It's been the worst month of violence in a year in East Ukraine, where the army is fighting anti-government fighters. July saw 73 civilian casualties, 8 of them fatalities, with shelling and landmines being the main causes. The UN estimates that over 2,000 civilians have been killed since the start of the fighting in April 2014. And we can now show you some of the latest pictures from the conflict zone.
This is what is left of my house, which I bought just 3 years ago. As night fell, I could hear the shells landing very close to my house. The next thing I knew, the entire house was shaken badly. I waited for a few minutes before I left my place. I grabbed my dog and ran out in the open. By then, the house was ablaze.
This is not the first time a shell has hit my house. Back in 2014, one landed right here.
The shells fall in our village almost every night, but last night was worst of all. It's horrible. It's very hard to live through all these shellings.
Of course, any armed conflict is especially tough on children. In one recent case in Ukraine, a sniper shot at a 14-year-old girl. We spoke to her about what happened.
Shooting went on all evening long, then it subsided for a while and I ventured outside. But moments later the bullets started flying all around again. A sniper hit my mobile phone and the bullet bounced off it, going right through my hand and then hitting my leg. The mobile phone virtually saved my life. I was holding it in my left hand when the bullet hit it and then bounced off it, injuring both my hand and leg. If it hadn't been for the phone, the bullet would probably have got me somewhere in the chest. They say it might have been a large caliber bullet fired from an anti-material rifle.
This is RT International. We have breaking news for you this hour, coming to us from Austria, where a man has attacked passengers on a train with a knife. Police say 2 people have been wounded. The attacker, who was a 60-year-old German national, has been detained. His motives are currently unclear. We'll bring you more on the breaking news the moment we get it. For now, as refugees come to Europe from various Islamic countries, many of them decide to convert to Christianity, either genuinely or to avoid deportation. But the converts are allegedly suffering abuse from fellow newcomers. Some of those recently baptized in Germany told us how they were treated in migrant camps there.
I have been spat on, told that I have betrayed Islam, but through what I've learned, I can forgive them.
I am easily spotted as a Christian in the refugee center. I see myself as a missionary, telling people about Jesus. Since I became a Christian, I fear no one.
We have been disowned not only by our friends, but also our families. This is our path.
It seems the problem might be more widespread than initially thought. A recent survey of Christian refugees in German migrant camps includes reports of physical and sexual assault and death threats. A converted Christian pastor, Mahin Musapur, says she was risking her life by simply agreeing to speak to us.
We try to reach out to police for help with this problem. I try hard to persuade people to go to the police and file police reports, but they are afraid to. But they reply, they will do us harm, they will kill us. Salafist radicals came here twice. They cursed and yelled at me. I'm risking my life right now by being in front of this camera. But who else would speak about this? Germans do not bring up this topic as they are afraid of being labeled far-right extremists or Nazis. I am a Christian convert, but my sister is still Muslim. I love Muslims, and they work for very little money at this parish to help other Muslims who come to hear God's word. Some of them don't convert, but that's their choice, and we respect it. Sometimes I have to pick up some of our churchgoers by car or drive them back home. I pick them up, for example, 2 streets away from their house, although no one knows that I'm a Christian preacher. There was this one awful case. There was a churchgoer, a converted Christian, who used to be Muslim. His family has been living in Germany for 10 or 12 years. They are rather modern and secular Muslims. Some of the women even wore low-cut dresses to a wedding ceremony. Their children go to school, but once they made a call to Afghanistan to get a killer for their converted family member. It was his sisters that made the phone call. This is truly sad. I really thought that integration had at least some effect on them. Afghans are the most afraid, as a lot of them have families living in Afghanistan and they don't want to complicate their relatives' lives back home.
All right, coming up next year on RT International, boom bust assessing why Brexit may be a longer time coming than originally promised. Thanks for watching.